From a young age, my father introduced us into aerospace and rebuilding engines, taking us to air shows. So I had a real interest in space and technology. As an engineer, you're looking to do something that hasn't been done before. And that's really where I wanted to get to be at the top end of the materials technology and really make a difference with that.
At Tisics, we think the metal composites that we develop can reduce the weight of a component by half, but actually still be as strong as steel, which in engineering terms is, the best of both worlds. In the next 15 years, it's expected that the CO2 emissions from aviation will rise by more than 20%. So that means that we need to do something today.
Our material takes the best of lightweight metals, aluminium and titanium, the best ceramic, silicon carbide, and combines those to get more than the sum of the parts. Metal matrix composites give us 30 to 70% weight savings. That is a significant difference on an aircraft in terms of the amount of fuel it burns and therefore the amount of CO2 emissions.
Applying our technology to landing gear on, say, existing aircraft fleets could save up to 3.7 million tons of carbon dioxide emissions a year. That's the equivalent of the CO2 absorbed by 4.5 million acres of mature forests.
Aircraft manufacturers will buy a piece of metal and they will machine 90% of that metal away, so 10% of it ends up in their final product. Our technology allows us to take small pieces of metal and bond those together into a solid with our composite integrated into it, so we keep 95% in the final component.
For us, the Sustainable Innovation Fund really came at the right time. We're at the point where we've developed and matured the technology, but what this fund really allowed us to do was accelerate the next stage of development by 4 to 5 years.
The Sustainable Innovation Fund was an opportunity that allowed us to take the lab scale components to full scale components. That means new equipment, but also new expertise that have real world experience of aviation.
What it means is that we get to introduce the technology into aircraft, into vehicles, just that much sooner. And we start saving emissions today, not in 10-20 years' time.
The KTN team helped us refine the bid so that we hit all the key messages that allowed us to win the programme and be successful. For Tisics, this allows us to get our first products out, but there are lots of products we want to do. Lots of aircraft components, engines, wing components, but also space components to get the next generation of satellites up and then move into technologies like the energy generation sector.
The great thing about materials technology is that once it gets adopted in specific sectors, it only just grows from there. And it'll be great to say, in sort of 10 years' time, no, we developed this and now it's everywhere.